Welcome everybody to episode 28 in this food freedom discussion. I am so happy that you're here. Thank you for showing up with us and joining us every single week. Me and Sierra just love this conversation, and it is a conversation. Just know that every week kind of builds upon the next week, and it is a conversation that food discussions, like our food freedom discussions, because they are a discussion. This is a ongoing conversation that we have during these lives to help you have a better relationship with food, so you stop feeling out of control with food and really just come back to your own power and feeling at peace with food and your body. Because me and Sierra, before we went live, talking about this, of how when we start obsessing about food, it becomes our sole focus, which then everything else in our life is revolved around food and how we feel in our body, and we're missing out on so much in life. And so our goal and our desire for you is to feel that freedom. And we hear it all the time, I just want to feel free, I want to feel free. And that's the whole point, is to feel free in your life, to feel free around food, around in your body, so you can do the things that matter to you, do the things that are important, and you truly get to be yourself. You're not hiding behind anything. You're not trying to be somebody that you're not. You really get to be yourself and find out who that is, because oftentimes we don't, because we've been so obsessed with trying to be somebody else, right? Or having a different body, or thinking that we need to do this or that because everyone's told us. And so this conversation today, I think it's going to be a good one. So we're on episode 28. Are you ashamed of eating things that are not good for you because of your weight? We wanted to bring this up because this is something we hear a lot of times, And before we completely get started, I do want to introduce ourselves. If you're new to the group, say hello. I am Hannah Hips. This is Sierra Spencer. We are donut eating, veggie loving, eating psychology coaches, mind body nutrition coaches. Sierra is a diet recovery coach. I'm a yoga instructor and lead meditations. Our whole focus is to help you feel empowered with food and live a diet-free life. Because if you are in this group, you know that there's something inside of you that's saying, I do not want to diet anymore. I do not want to feel like food is ruling my life and I am feeling out of control. So you are in the right place. Sierra and I have been there. We have done it all between both of us and come out the other side. And we are just giving you the process of how to do that. So Sierra, how about jumping right in?
Yeah, hey Cassie, I saw you hop on. Just want to say hi. And yeah, Hannah actually was, someone said this. It was well, I just feel like I shouldn't be eating, these things because of my weight. And what happens when you feel bad for eating something you think you shouldn't? How does your weight affect what and how you feel about your food choices? And food is complicated, and at times all because of these voices in your head. I was talking with someone else this morning, another client who was like, I just feel like there's these negative reels, these negative voices in my head all the time. And it makes your relationship with food really complicated. And so what if you were able to change your thinking and make peace with food in your body? I know it seems crazy. It seems way out of this world. Is that even really possible for me? Do you think what you eat would change? Do you think you would feel better about yourself? So today, that's what we're going to be discussing. We're going to be discussing the number one cause that actually leads you to overeat and feel out of control with food. And elephant in the room here, your weight, right? And how it's causing you, actually focusing and obsessing and about your weight is actually causing you to stay stuck in this yo-yo cycle and food obsession and these negative thoughts in your head. Hannah, I was saying that, even just today I was talking with someone who's just I'm so tired of the negative voices in my head all the time, beating myself up. And the voices that are coming up in my head are so mean, I would never repeat them out loud. Eating doesn't have to be complicated. And that's why we're here. We want to show you another approach to food that puts you in the driver's seat so that you can live your best life. And like Hannah was said, people say like, I want freedom. I want freedom. I want freedom. I want to feel free. And like, what does that look like? And so I wanted to share really quick. I'm on vacation in California with my husband on a work trip, and freedom, what that looks like is, before I would have been freaking out, first of all, about going on vacation, what I'm going to wear, how am I going to look? I need to lose a couple pounds before I go on the vacation. I need to look my best. I would have got here and been freaking out about what kind of food I was going to eat. Where am I going to get my exercise in? What am I going to do? Like, I would have just been in my head, or like, I can't, okay, if I'm going to have iced coffee now, I probably shouldn't have ice cream later because it's too much sugar, blah, 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 blah. I would have been insane inside my head. Now it's like that, those voices of negativity are not there. I put on some clothes. I feel comfortable. I'm walking around downtown at this beautiful little beach town, and I'm taking pictures, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, or like, oh, I kind of want some ice cream. And it's just, the thoughts are not consuming anymore. I get to live my life and focus on being on vacation and enjoying the moment and being present, because I'm not obsessed with thoughts around food in my body at all times. And we want that for you guys too. Life is way too short to be obsessing about your weight and of course, health is important. We get that, but it's actually not healthy to be obsessing about food and your weight. Definitely not healthy in lots of ways. So we're going to jump into today. Hannah, you can take it over. For like why, really it's like the number one thing that causes you to overeat and feel out of control with food, and really connecting that, like why thinking you shouldn't be eating things that are not good for you because of your weight, why that's a problem.
Yeah, because whenever we feel like we shouldn't be doing something because of our weight, so like we shouldn't eat carbs because we already are not happy with our body, we feel like we're overweight, that we have all of this shame and guilt. And so what happens when we feel like we shouldn't be doing something, that shame and guilt come and pack on, right? The pack's on top of your shoulders. And the thing that happens is we often want to restrict ourselves from having that thing. It's this deprivation and guilt seesaw kind of a thing. If we are depriving ourselves of something, our guilt is going to be low. So say that you're being really good and you're staying away from the carbs. So your guilt's going to be low because you're not eating that thing, right? You think you're doing something good for yourself and that's the way it should go. But as time goes on, the more that we deprive ourselves of something that we truly like, anytime we deprive ourselves of anything, the desire for it is going to increase. Right? So think of like a new car. You want this new car and you buy the new car and it's like, oh my God, it's like so exciting. You want it, and you get it. And then after time goes on, the excitement wears off, right? So it's like because you got the car. Mm-hmm. Before you were obsessing about the car because you wanted it. It's the same thing with food. If you are depriving yourself of something and you're not allowing yourself to have it, then the excitement of it, the obsession of it is going to increase. And so as say you're been really good and you're not eating the thing, and as soon as you do eat the thing, you then become bad, wrong, shame, guilt begins to pile on. So right, your guilt begins to increase.
Right.
And your deprivation begins to decline. Right? So,
which is good because you ate. But right, so it's a seesaw. I'm trying to visualize it, right? So deprivation, you don't feel deprived anymore because you just ate all the cookies, but the guilt is like rising crazy high.
So how many times is like on a seesaw, it is meant to go up and down, right? So guilt, deprivation are going up and down, up and down, up and down. And the only way that you can stop going up and down is getting off the seesaw, because you think of like kids playing on it. If one leaves, you can't do the seesaw anymore, right? So the only way for you to get off this guilt cycle, this deprivation cycle, this feeling bad, feeling wrong, you shouldn't be doing things, is to completely step off the seesaw and begin to start to change the way that you are around food, the way that you think about food, the way that you behave around food. And that's what we do in this group. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when we feel like we're doing something wrong or we shouldn't be doing something because of the way that we are physically, because of our weight, we're going to be creating more deprivation and guilt, which is going to make us feel like we're going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. And this is a tricky, and we're going to be starting a series on this because we think it's so important. But when you don't truly believe that you can eat whatever you like because of your weight, for example, you will continue to feel deprived. And ultimately, you're going to overeat. And you're going to be blocked from feeling satisfied with your eating. And when you're not satisfied, you're going to be on the prowl for more and more food. And, I was just talking with someone earlier today, and it was like, she feels like she, has to be good, and she's not eating very much for the day. But right when she gets home from work, it's like chocolate, 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 so much chocolate. Because, again, when you feel deprived, whether it's intentional or not, your brain will keep signaling for you to eat. So if you feel deprived and not satisfied from your eating, regardless of your weight, you could be in a super thin body, not be eating enough and feel deprived and still overeat. You can be in a bigger body and be deprived and you're going to overeat. So when you're not feeling satisfied, you're going to want to eat more food. But when you know the food's going to be there and you know that the food's going to be allowed day after day, what happens is that it doesn't become so important to have it. And food loses its power. And that's what we teach. What we teach in our processes and our programs you have the power and not the food.
Yeah, it's like, take back your power, right? Because how often is like, everything else has the power over you. That's why we feel out of control, because it's like we are not in control of our own self. Like we're allowing other things to choose for us or other people to choose for us. And the whole reason why we wanted to talk about this is because the number one thing that we have that we get to work on, and this is a process, is giving yourself permission to eat the food. And we talked about this in a workshop that we did last week, but giving yourself permission, which is probably one of the hardest things that we have people do, because there's a lot that goes into this, because intellectually we're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, I can give myself permission. But then the actual process of doing it, eating the thing without the guilt, eating the thing, and going through the process of all of that, that's the challenging part. And that's why we don't recommend doing this on your own, because it's it can be really challenging. We have people in our programs that it is so life-changing for them when they actually start giving themselves permission, and the freedom that they feel is euphoric, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that life could be like this. And doing that on your own can be very complicated and very confusing, and our minds will get in the way, right? And we'll revert back to old behaviors and patterns, and that seesaw up and down all over again.
Yep. Yeah. So if you want to get off the seesaw of deprivation and guilt and shame, again, these deprivation and guilt and shame is causing you to overeat. And it's causing you to feel crazy around your food, regardless of your weight. Okay. So yes, we know, we get it. You feel I remember feeling like I don't deserve to eat these cookies. I don't deserve to eat this ice cream. I don't deserve to have anything yummy because I don't feel like my body's good enough. It's a terrible feeling to feel it like the body you're in and the weight you're at, you don't deserve to eat something. And it's no place to be, because again, when that happens, you feel deprived and you're going to get in that cycle and in that seesaw. So if you want to get off the seesaw and you are wanting some more support, we encourage you to either comment below, hey, I'm interested in what you guys do, I want to learn more, shoot us a private message. Get on our email list. Hannah is our email. She writes amazing emails that will keep you in the loop. So if you want to get on our email list and you're not getting our emails, you can also comment below and we'll make sure we get you on that list. We do free 15-minute strategy calls just to talk with you. No sales, just we want to get to know you. We call them a food roadmap call. So this call will help identify what is going on in your relationship with food and with your eating and your health that we could pinpoint and start to help you get back on track. I don't like that phrase, but like get back on track with feeling good and feeling healthy with where you're at. So we have lots of different options to work with us. And if you're ready to find out a little bit more about what we do and how we can help you, comment below or shoot us a private message. And stay tuned, because the next couple weeks, we're going to be talking all about the fears that are holding you back from having peace and freedom around food. We're going to be doing a series where 3 or 4 weeks in a row, we're going to be talking about all about the fears that are holding you back from really getting what you want when it comes to your health and your relationship with food.
Awesome. We're so excited. Thanks so much for joining us. Let us know below if this was helpful, what takeaways you got, where you want to start working more on your relationship with food. And just know everybody gets to eat. And what would it be like if you were to eat the thing that you wanted and not feel like it controls you? That you'd be able to stop and feel good about it, regardless of your weight. So have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.